Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show with the talk of Amanat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. It's been a minute. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news, and today is just going to be a special day that I'm dedicating to one person and one person only, and that's Mr. Charlie Kirk. I haven't weighed in on anything. I've been watching what's been going on in the news cycle. I've been looking at a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, let me thank, of course, the OBBM network for hosting us on their TV station. You can find us on the OBBM network.tv. Just look up the Ray Amanat Show and check out our past episodes. We'll be doing a lot more episodes coming soon. I've got a lineup of a lot of people that I am excited to interview, and I hope you guys tune in for that. So, let's get that out. Today's I'm Just Saying segment is going to be about Mr. Charlie Kirk. But I have to also put you guys in touch with one of my advertisers or sponsors for the show, and that's PBP Web Design. If you guys have a new business that you're starting and you want to get some type of a social media footprint, he'll help you with social media as far as Facebook, X, Instagram, everything else. He has a whole team of people that can help. If you want a website that's going to help show who you are and what you offer, whether it's products or services, he's the person that I want you guys to get in touch with. So this is PBP Web Design. A good friend of mine is Mr. James Durkin. His contact information is, of course, pbpwebdesign.com. You can email him at jamesdurkin@pbp, that's not easy to say, pbpwebdesign.com, or contact him at 727-457. I'm thinking, let me see, hold on, 5894. It sucks when you're getting old, everybody. Just remember that. So, Mr. Charlie Kirk, you see, he was born in October and passed away September 10th of 2025. And, the thing that I always talk about, well, whenever someone passes, and he didn't die, he was assassinated, he was murdered, is that little dash that's in between his date of birth and his date of passing or death. That little dash represents everything that he was. And I want to give you my take on that, if you guys can indulge me a little bit. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me. When I first started podcasting, it was with a good friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Reed, and we started Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. And we were talking about taboo subjects that people normally didn't want to talk about because it would start arguments or, get on people's bad sides, whether it's your family members or your friends. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to ruin a friendship or a relationship as far as family is concerned. But Steve and I wanted to do Taboo Talk where we had opposing views, or we would bring people on our show with opposing views just to start a dialogue and show people that, hey, we don't have to be jerks. We don't have to be at each other's throats. We don't have to yell at each other in order to have a civil conversation. And at the end of the day, if we don't agree, then we just agree to disagree. Charlie Kirk was one of those people that I followed, that I looked up to, and I was blown away and amazed by how knowledgeable he was and how he was able to, with a smile on his face, just give opposing people with differing views the platform to discuss things with them, and either he's right or they're right, and they can continue to the discussion on a later date or continue it over a beer or coffee or whatever else. um, Charlie was an awesome debater. He can do a master class on how to debate. I wish I had a pinky's worth of debate knowledge of what Charlie had. He was so knowledgeable as far as his religious views, his historical events, conservative viewpoints, and of course, our Constitution. He knew it forward and backward. He did his research. Everything that he said was fact based. You can go look at his previous videos and fact check them yourself. I was just mesmerized. Besides Charlie Kirk, Jesse Kelly, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, all these people that would spouse conservative or religious points of view, and they all had death threats. They all had people trying to um, go at their advertisers and shut their businesses or shut their shows down. But the more they tried, the bigger they grew. Even Tucker Carlson, who I thought did a fantastic job at Charlie's memorial or revival this weekend. But the more they talked about Jesus or God or faith, the bigger their audience got. And that's kind of a wake up call, wake the clock up, America, where we are trying to take America back from a socialist, communist way of thinking. That's the enemy within. Thank you, Michael Savage, for that. But it's they're in our schools, they're in our colleges, they're teaching our kids, they're in our government. And one of the things that I love about Charlie and love with Donald Trump is they're shining a light on them, and they're showing them for who they really are. And people are starting to wake up and realize that we've been lied to this whole time, that we've been controlled, that we've been um, poked and pushed and bullied and yelled at without us having a chance to do our own research, verify things, and then say, you know what? You're wrong. And this is why. And Charlie created a debate stage, a tent, and that became his gladiator arena. You've got boxing events. I'm a fighter, a boxer, kickboxer. You've got MMA events. You have all these gladiator. You have baseball games. You have football games. You have all these teams. You have cheerleaders. You have people that are going. Who would have thought that somebody sets up a tent, a table, and two microphones and would build an audience space at colleges, different universities, with thousands of people coming to see the verbal debate between Charlie and anyone that opposes his views. Even professors would come and Charlie would, in my opinion, school them and show them who the teacher really was. But that was Charlie's his gladiator stage, and he had a lot of college age kids come out and cheer him on. I was blown away by just seeing the type of response Charlie would get and the cheering he would get whenever he would show somebody that with opposing views that in reality they were wrong, regardless of what the topic was that they were talking about. So I think Charlie has created an arena or a gladiator cage that is going to continue nationwide at every college, and I hope it does. But it's not a fight, a physical fight. It's a fight with words. I do a lot with my self defense training where it's the power of words. And Charlie was a master of using words and bringing the good out of people, and shining a light on the bad of people. And I hope that I can continue his torch and continue doing what he did so well. Um, you know, Seeing his wife, you could see the love that he had as a husband and as a father, how important his family was to him, his message of people getting married and having kids. Yeah, when I say lead by example, Charlie truly led by example, and I had to, and I'm sure a lot of other people had to do an internal look at ourselves as far as the type of lives that we lead. That little dash that's been between when we are born and when we die, what are we going to do with it? Charlie's dash was devoted to Jesus Christ, devoted to family, devoted to preaching and teaching as many people as he could. To shine a positive light and change minds in a way that actually helped communities and helped colleges and give people that didn't have a chance to stand up for themselves a voice to stand up for themselves. He gave them that platform, and he gave them a platform not just for like-minded people, but he invited people that totally hated him and opposed his viewpoints. And he said, go ahead, talk. And that's something that he was such a good wordsmith. For me, I would just want to punch him in the face. But anyone that opposed my view, I would just say, oh, yeah, well, I could beat you up. Charlie was so much better than that. And I'm going to try to do better myself. I need to read more. I need to have more mentors in my life that would guide me into being a person that can win with words and not just with violence or anything like that. So thank you, Charlie, for being that person. Um, he saved a lot of people, especially college age kids that were confused, that didn't know what direction they wanted to go with their lives. And just by listening to him, all I see through social media is videos of how many people Charlie's has changed as far as their lives. And I'm sure his wife Erica is going to do the same. Turning Point is going to go grow bigger, and they're just going to save more lives and help more people. So it is a revival. Charlie was somebody that wasn't afraid. When I talk about do you want to be afraid or do you want to be fearless when I do my self defense seminars, everyone says they want to be fearless. And Charlie was the perfect example of somebody that stood for his beliefs and was fearless, and didn't back down from anyone. And it takes somebody that's a coward that has to hide instead of step up to the microphone and say, I don't agree with you, and this is why, and have a conversation. I'm not even going to mention the shooter's name, but he was a coward for hiding, shooting, and taking Charlie's life. but in doing so, he created so many more Charlie Kirks. And I hope all of you that are listening will become a Charlie Kirk yourselves, and just do the right thing. Random acts of kindness, have civil conversations, and if you disagree, just like, you know what, let me do my research and get back to you. Let me do my homework, and then we can continue this conversation, because I, I'm confused, and maybe I need to listen to what you have to say. And maybe you're right, but let me do my research, and if we can come back and have this conversation again. But it doesn't have to end with us being mad at each other or saying, you know what, I don't want you in my life again. I've posted things on social media of which I've had a lot of hate posted back based on my post. And I've unfriended a lot of people. So if you're not seeing my posts anymore, yeah, it's because I don't want to surround myself with people that have a lot of hate. But I hope someday we can come back and have a civil conversation and have a better understanding of where we stand, and not use that to put a wedge in between us. Right now, I'm in a stage of my life where I want to surround myself with people that share the same morals and values, and I don't want to have hatred in my life, especially for people that celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination. That to me was a blow, because it was kind of like on 9/11, which was the day after. But when it initially happened, seeing Iranians and seeing Middle Eastern people celebrate the fall of the Twin Towers angered me, pissed me off, made me want to do something myself to retaliate. But for Erica Kirk to stand in front of thousands of people at the stadium and millions of people watching, to say that she forgives the shooter that took her husband, um, that is power, that is strength. And I can only strive to try to be as strong as Charlie and Erica Kirk. So that's my time. That's my pretty much. I'm just saying my 2 cents worth. I'd like to know what you guys think. So if you guys can, if this will work for me, let's try this again. If you want to shoot me an email, um, please send it to info@rayamanat.com and tell me what you think. I really want to know, and I would really like to have a conversation with you. You can go to my Facebook page. You can message me. Tell me what you think. If you want to have a private conversation, I'd love to have a private conversation with you. If you'd like to know about myself in general and the different types of programs that I offer, just go to my website at rayamanat.com. Again, that's rayamanat.com. As always, let me add this. If you are in need of help, and I'm going to need my glasses for this, so forgive me. If you're dealing with domestic violence, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. You know, it's never too late to ask for help and get the kind of help that you need. If you or someone you know has suicidal thoughts or tendencies, you can call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. Again, that's 1-800-273-TALK. If you're a witness to any type of crime, hate crime, if there's people that are damaging property, defacing property, anything like that, leave an anonymous tip. Call Crime Stoppers USA at 1-800-222-TIPS. Again, that's 1-800-222-TIPS. We need to all work together to be the solution and not the problem to all the hate and violence that's going on in this world. As always, everybody, please wake the cluck up. That is my time, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thanks for watching the Ray Amanat Show. Good night.
Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. Wake the fuck up, America.